Hello.
Hello once again.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Still in Florida with your fake tan.
I am faking the baking. I've been thinking about that since our last. I was like, I've got to be clear about that. I'm faking it because I'm not a burn and peel kind of gal.
Do you remember, did I talk about this? My brain. Do you remember that the Bain de Soleil like
Mm,
orange gelée sunscreen from our childhood, and it was
yes.
SPF 4 and it smelled really good and it like made your
Yes.
skin kind of look tan? They have it
Hmm.
again.
Oh,
I bought it.
yes. Our family is more of a copper tone family.
Okay.
And it's same thing though. I don't know if they still have four available,
I
but they
didn't buy the
definitely
4, to
have.
be clear. I'm too old and pale to buy a 4, but
Can you
they
imagine?
that
It's
brand
almost like a
Vac-
magnifying
I
glass, the
know.
four, right?
But that brand Vacation that does like yummy smell, like their whole thing is yummy
Mm,
smelling sunscreens. And they came out, they brought in like 30 experts and they like reverse engineered the orange gelée of the 80s. And they have like their new orange gelée, but it's SPF 30.
okay. Best of both worlds,
And yes, and so I bought
maybe.
some. I'm very excited about
Nice.
my
Yeah,
orange gelée.
that's, yeah, no, because I am in Florida, I know that my family has gone onto Amazon to find the lowest SPF possible, which is not available in stores. You have
Yeah.
to, it's almost black market at this point.
There
And
used to
then the
even be like
bundle
SPF
arrives.
2. Do you remember that?
Oh, I don't
Good old
remember
days.
that. I
Yeah.
probably remember the sunburns more than I remember the lotion at that point. That's not even, remember it was suntan lotion, not sunscreen.
Right.
Like even the marketing around it was
Yeah.
like all in on the burning and the peeling, I
Yes.
guess.
Oh, good old
Ah,
days.
yes, here we are being influencers ourselves
Yeah.
about new skin products. Good
Yes.
for us.
Well, speaking of the good old days, our topic today is something that's been happening since the good old days of influencer marketing before it was even called that. And that is this
Mm-hmm.
um, trend, popularity, scheme of
I like
somehow
scheme.
trying to get content out of influencers without paying for said content.
Yes. And wrapping it in all kinds of different packages and bows and language so that it's palatable to folks who are okay. Yeah, I mean, I again feel the need to stake this claim the territory around what you and I feel an influencer is. I think often, or back in the day, it was folks who have this subject matter expertise
Mm-hmm.
that they've developed because they love it. It's the cooking, or it's the home decor, or it's happens to be moms who are embroiled in raising children. And so it's community building around that. So that there's this basis of the content that they're creating that lives outside of a paid relationship or a an entertainment value. So I want to level set there because the idea then of trying to get things for free from people who are building their own presence, platforms, communities, content style. They've trained them. You and I saw this early on. They've trained themselves in photography, now video, now editing, now sound editing, now storyboarding. Like the amount of expertise, social media, they're packing it all in there. So I've gone off on a flyer right off the bat
Well,
because I think it's
I
important
mean,
to note that.
the big point, I think there are a few points. Like, one, there's the community and the influence and just kind of the sway, pardon the pun, that influencers have over their audience. Two, they are creating content that, it's we've talked before about how lo-fi content is very popular right now. It appeals to consumers. It's what they want to see. It is what influencers are. No matter how professional they are, it's still going to kind of appear more lo-fi than a professionally created TV
Right,
commercial. That content is something that brands need. Volume of content is something that brands need. Disparate voices, the voice of someone who is not a brand manager but is an actual person who uses this product or service. So like I think the big, like starting the conversation, the big thing that we all have to acknowledge is this is something that brands want and need.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, we live in a business world, we live in a capitalist society.
Supply
In
demand comes
general,
into
supply,
play.
right. And in general, if you can get something for less money, that's
Mm.
considered a good thing. So like I get it. I get you're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh my gosh, I need to have thousands of pieces of content, hundreds of pieces of content a month, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I cannot
This
afford as a
engine.
brand, like fiscally, it would not be responsible to pay a big fancy creative agency to give me hundreds of pieces of fancy content every month.
Mm-hmm.
Ergo, I need content from influencers, and I am going to try to get that for free or for as cheap as possible. And I'm going to make it seem as appealing as possible, to your point, by calling it something fancy.
Exposure, collaborative with a big name brand, right? Like affiliate. Okay.
So, I mean, this
Yes.
started, the idea, like the impetus for discussing this today came from this article that came out last week. I think it was in Ad Age about Target stores. And Target has long had an affiliate program. They are sunsetting that program where people, similar to a Walmart or an Amazon, where influencers could create storefronts with their preferred Target products, and anyone who bought a product from that storefront would generate a commission, an affiliate commission for the influencer. This
Mm-hmm.
program is getting sunsetted
Mm-hmm.
in favor of something with the fancy sounding name Club Target. Sounds like a resort. Sounds amazing. Take me to Club
Until you
Target.
realize that they're like, it's literally you're being clubbed. Like
Yeah.
it's a verb. Sorry.
In Club Target, you no longer get cash for making a sale of their product. You
Who wants cash anymore, Danielle? It's so passe.
We don't need cash. This is now a game. This is fun, Club Target. It's a fun place with games. It's gamified, and you can win gift cards and prizes for selling for them.
Fantastic. If you jump through enough hoops, juggle enough balls, do the high wire act, and check all the boxes, you
Yeah.
might get some of these prizes. And pride, right? Because you've worked with Club
I just
Target,
hate,
which
I mean, getting back to the good old days, I have hated the gift card thing since day one. I don't know if this still, I mean, everything still lives on the internet, right? When I still worked at Edelman, there was an influencer agency that had been founded while I was still there. It was just for moms,
mm,
and they only paid in gift cards. And I
mm,
remember writing some kind of article for an Edelman blog or as an op ed for something, talking about like not
the
liking
pitfalls.
this, just
Yeah.
not liking the concept of pay, especially paying moms and get like it felt like one, you're
Mm,
not even calling them a person or a woman. You're like calling them, like every other influencer is described by what they do and what their expertise is. And like
mm-hmm.
you don't call food influencers like fatty hungry influencers, and you don't call, right?
Right. Right.
Like fitness influencers talk about
Addiction.
fitness,
Yeah.
food
Right.
influencers talk about food. Like why were mom bloggers always called by like who, like
And it wasn't
there
just
were just a
mom,
lot
it's
of issues.
mommy. And
Ma
it's
ugh,
mommy
ugh.
bloggers.
So
There
then
was a
to
big
like,
backlash to
yes.
parenting, but yes.
And then to say that you were paying them just in gift cards, like as if like, well, these moms, they don't need much. Just give them a gift card and they can go out and spend it without their husband knowing. Like the whole thing just felt gross to
Oh.
me.
There's an implied like they don't know any better.
I
Like
also
we can
think a
just kind of
gift
get away with
card,
this.
like a gift, like that just gets you out of the
It
whole,
ties you into
you don't
something.
get 1099 for a
That's what I
gift
was going to bring
card.
up. That
Like
it there
it's not an actual job that you're getting paid money for.
right.
Like I kind of want to go on the record that I have hated this for 20 years. This is not a new opinion from me.
Right. And it's in the title. It's a gift. You're giving this person that you've hired a gift versus payment versus compensation versus remuneration, right? It's a gift. Because when I think about a gift card, the only time I use it is literally what do we get somebody that has everything? We'll get them a gift card to Target, right? Okay, so we're back to Target. So yeah, it's not, it doesn't it doesn't honor or validate their value, and it's still happening. It's still, and I wanted to bring up to your point, it goes back to this. This is so smart of you. This balance point between, yes, we want to get things as inexpensively as we can and therefore
Sure.
commoditize the process at some point. And so the gift card, there's not as much financial paperwork. There's not IRS tax reporting. There's not follow up. There's no invoicing. There's no 1099s, all of that, which is an added expense for the entity that hires them.
And they're
So
using the gift. Can I just say they're using the gift card at Target where they're probably going to buy some other stuff at the same time.
sure, it becomes a loss leader for,
Yeah.
or not even a loss leader, but like, yeah, this bigger, it ties them in. It makes those decisions for them. It doesn't really honor them
It's like,
as it
remember
should.
like in the
Yeah.
olden days, like with the railroads and stuff, and they had the company store, and like if you worked for the railroad, you had to live you had to live in the
On
railroad
their,
housing, and you had to shop at
yes,
the company store with like the chits that they gave you or something. Like it almost
right.
feels like that, like indentured servitude.
Right, right. You're in this ecosystem, which brings us back to Club Target. It's very much an ecosystem. I think ecosystem as a concept is smart if it's real community and really paying attention to what, how many of those affiliates do you think lobbied their agencies, talent managers, target contacts, and said, we're done getting paid. We really just want prizes and we want a fish in a fish bowl for all of our work. 0. Point 0. So are they really listening to what's happening? There might be something happening on the affiliate front that Target is trying to navigate and negotiate. I think it comes down to the lack of understanding of how to evaluate and evaluate all of these programs. Like you have mentioned as far as, and this brings us into a related conversation, that funnel, it's so tempting to want to only focus on conversions and only focus on sales through affiliates. And there are seasons for that when it's going to grow and dip. And then there's also this you're going to burn out your buyers. Like there's only at that point, there's only so many people buying from you. If you're not expansively filling that funnel at the top, my arms are like this, then you're missing, it's going to be saturated. You're going to saturate your own target audience, your own audience of buyers. And I think that's probably what's happening with affiliate too. And nobody knows how to right the ship. So somebody in a bubble somewhere said, let's call it Club Target, make it gamified. Gamified is fine too, but
I
who's
guess. I
asking
mean,
to
I've
not get
never
paid?
really like it. I
You and I maybe
struggle.
don't work like that, but I do think there are a lot of people that love
Sure.
a challenge and level
It just
up
feels like kind of pitting.
unlocks.
I mean, if we're going to go on the assumption that most of these participants in Club Target are women, like I also, there's like this feminist part. Well, all of me is feminist, but like the feminist voice in me is thinking like, but why are we pitting women against each other? Like, why does this have to be a competition of who can sell? Like, just let
Was
people
that
create.
inherent in the structure of it? Is you
I
have to
don't know. I
outdo other
just hear
people?
I hear gamified and I think competition, and so like my hackles
Mm.
get raised.
See, I look at it like we are in a gaming economy. You know, gaming is so prevalent, and it's occurring to me as we're talking. This might be generational. That Gen Z and Gen Alpha, maybe are more fluid and fluent with
I
the
mean, I like
Minecrafts and the
gamified,
Fortnites.
like the brand lift studies that we do. We do through a partner in the UK called This That. And one of the things we love about their surveys is that the surveys are gamified, not in that you're like competing and winning stuff. They're just like fun and they look like a video game and you're swiping and they are
It's
visual and they have
engaging.
like
Hmm.
fun imagery and it just like looks, it feels like a fun game and not like I'm
Hmm.
answering questions in a boring survey. So like
Right,
that form of like I'm here for it. Like if we can make stuff fun in this world, like bring me all the fun.
right.
I
But
don't
keep the
love the
money.
competition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay
Yeah, I
me
don't know
too.
about, I don't know if it has a competitive factor to it. And If it does, and it's mostly women, I wholeheartedly agree with you that I'm, we all should be beyond pitting women against each other for what now? Prizes. Not even, not even actual. I don't think we should pit them against each other for compensation either. I think everybody should have their own deals and
Yeah.
their value based on a whole other set of metrics, which I want to circle back to. I think we've generally lost the thread of
Well,
how
and
to
then
measure these things.
like so many questions come up from this, and I end up with the same questions when we're talking about like the gifting world.
Mm,
Because one
mm-hmm.
of the things that's happening right now, and we've talked about this, one of the things that's happening right now in the influencer space is that usage is becoming increasingly expensive
Mm-hmm.
to,
Usage being defined as you couldn't contract an influencer to post content that's part of a brief and part of a contract, a statement of a scope of work. But that's not the end all. You may also want access to that content to put into paid or
and to post
organic placements.
organically. Yeah, so
Yeah.
organic usage and paid usage. And we're getting quotes now from influencers and from influencer managers where the piece of content is one thing and then organic usage is another cost per week or per month, and then organic usage is layered on, there's organic and paid, and like it's just adding up, and it's become this real like cost
It's a sticking
cost in
point.
a
Yeah.
program. And so I do think that brands are kind of like they need this content, they need the usage. It's getting more and more expensive, and they're trying to find ways to skirt around that. But like
Mm-hmm.
this content, like, does it include usage if you're posting it in that way? And are they getting that for free now? Like, have they figured out how to, getting back to this
Put that in the
game, and
terms and
now are they like
conditions.
gaming
Yeah.
the system to get that?
Oh,
And then,
sure. So points for if you give us paid licensing, if you give us organic licensing, like that's another checkbox. If they're smart and
yeah,
this is this ecosystem they're building, that absolutely I would guess.
yeah,
I don't know. I will be honest, I am flying blind here. I've read the article you talked about,
yeah,
blew my stack because I thought it was so ridiculous. And now here we are talking
yeah.
about it.
Well, and
So
I
I'm a
mean, I
little,
guess I have some of the same issues with gifting, right? So you send someone this fancy box of product in the hopes that they're going to write something about it. You have no guarantee that they are because you're not paying them. And then if
mm,
they do create which is not always writing, I'm showing my age, but like so they create this video about the product
mm,
that they receive in this fancy package in the mail. Like they might not get your key messages right, but let's say they do and you really love it, like you you don't get usage just for gifting something. So like you still don't
right,
have usage. There's no
right.
exclusivity. Like I just
Yeah.
think there's all these ways that brands and agencies are coming up with to like kind of trick influencers into creating free content for them, but at the end of the day, like it doesn't provide them with everything they
Right.
need. And
Nobody's
also,
fooled.
and I
Yeah.
think influencers deserve to be paid. If you need content, they are giving you content. Pay them for their content. If you need
Yes.
usage, I have some issues with how expensive it's become because I think there should be a bare minimum included. But if you need
Mm-hmm.
usage, pay for usage. If you want exclusivity, pay for exclusivity. Like these things have value. And I
Right.
get wanting to save a buck, but like not at the
We've
expense of
we've
people
worked
trying
with
to
a
make a
brand
living.
we've worked with a brand that wanted 3 months of exclusivity, and the competitor category was 25 to 30 brands, and the focal point avatar influencer clearly makes their living on all of those brands. And there's no sort of factoring in, to your point, I think the dollar signs blind people to reality. So in that case, it was very expensive and they had to just either yay or nay, we're going to be able to escalate the budget for this. But the other piece is all that you're talking about, whether it's the gamifying and wrapping things in this shroud of fun, um, prizes, rewards, or if we're talking about gifting, I believe gifting can be effective, But what most brands don't understand is where they think they're cutting corners or avoiding expenses means they're ill prepared for what's about to happen. They're going to be blindsided. It's going to be more expensive when folks don't get that messaging right, or when they send out all these fantastic kits to people that are like, GFY, I didn't ask for this. I don't want this. I'm going to blast you on social because this is one of 10 packages I got today. And the burden is now on me to figure out how to deal with this and dispose of. Like, there's just really a lot of downstream costs associated with trying to save money at the front end.
There's an influencer I follow who does a lot of fashion and beauty stuff, and she did this tour she needed a new face powder or something, and she said, well, let's go to my PR closet and see if I have a new face powder to try. And she went into her studio, and this wasn't even a closet. It was like a giant room. And there were racks and racks of clothing that have been gifted to her by clothing companies. And then two of those tall IKEA drawer things filled with makeup. And she also donates a ton to like women trying to get back into the workforce after incarceration. She gives stuff to friends, but
she turned it into a positive.
Right. But like this was like a full out, like overstuffed boutique in terms of the amount of clothing and then the amount of makeup that was there. Surely she's not creating content for all of like she's getting so much stuff.
It's what the brands don't understand.
Yeah.
So what I hear there, and I want to tease out, is by treating influencers and their content and their work and their value, by trying to commoditize it, lowest cost, right, for volume, the brands actually become the commodities. Because think about it, and this happened with a client we were working with who was supporting Olympic athletes and sponsored the Winter Olympics that just happened. When you look at those athletes, they're getting $35,000 of merch in maybe a 2-month time, period. I don't know how long, when it starts rolling in. And you can tell what they do post, they're overwhelmed. They're hot needle in a haystack. How do you find, so suddenly your brand paid all this money just to license the sponsorship and it's become a commodity. So it's a dangerous slippery slope for brands to try to commoditize all of this. I'm glad we've teased out the financial ramifications because that's the best tool I believe you and I have for changing how brands look at this, because it is not a cost savings. It is not at the end of the day working in your favor. I agree.
And I get
there's
that.
got to be a
I get
correction
it.
on
Like,
pricing.
brands need to they have to make money or they don't exist. Like I understand it. Like I understand how capitalism works. I guess my solve to rising prices is maybe not Club Target.
Yeah, that's right. That's an extreme reaction. That's a good point there too. Maybe there's going to be some kind of correction inside of the giant brands that have the storefronts and have been doing the affiliate. They're either going to follow suit and everybody's going to go that way, or there's probably some happier middle ground.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you and I will chew on that once we see it. But for now, it's thumbs down on that one.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, good discussion.
Okay, Siskel. Siskel Ebert. We're both a thumbs down on this one. Yeah.
That's right. Don't do it.
Okay.
All right.
More
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks.